Islam, it means, what does it mean in Islam? It means you come to the peace. That's what it's all about. Islam, it means you are safe. Well, I came here in 1971 and as a student. And then I went to universities up Northern California, and also I went to UCSB for graduate school, Cal Poly, but mainly I worked for the local industry. I'm engineer, electrical engineer.
Hi, I'm Adel Hamadian. I was born and raised here. I'm 21 years old right now, and I'm studying currently biology. I'm a bit of a mix between biology and engineering. And I guess my life story, it's not really that much. I went to high school here, I went to San Marcos, I went to Monte Vista here, so I was born and raised here. I absolutely love this city. You know, the weather's great, the people are great, and I love meeting all the foreigners here, making new friends, and like sort of seeing different cultures here. And that's what I really like about Santa Barbara, and I think that's what makes it unique itself, the city and this country.
Because of the lack of their knowledge about Islam, so they start talking negatively about it. Because they don't know Islam is against, when you cannot harm little ant on the ground, you're not supposed to. How can you harm the people? How can you terrorize the people? Those are out of the Islamic range. I mean, they have nothing to, as far as I'm concerned, they have nothing to do with Islam. Islam, we do not harm anybody, we help them. I mean, look at here, when I look at it, there are millions, and I could say, Muslims, they live in this country, they are doctors, engineers, businessmen, blah, blah, they, all of them. And they work, they work hard in this country, and they contribute to this society. They don't harm anybody. They have enriched this culture. If you look at it, they have enriched this culture from any perspective. And my neighbors tell me that their friends, they say, oh, the Muslims are so and so, but I tell them that I have a neighbor, he is the most wonderful person. Why? Because when they interact with us, they know who we are. It's not but when they listen advertisement against us, they get confused. Which one do you believe? So they have to a little bit do more investigation and all that to come to understanding what the Islam is all about. Islam is the peace, not the terrorizing people, not to. They have not, as I say, nothing to do with Islam. That's all I can say.
And we have a saying too. It's kill one human, it's as if you've killed all humanity. Save one human, it's as if you saved all humanity. So I think that's a pretty famous saying to remember, what it means to be Muslim. We care about people, and we condemn killing as much as the next person does. It's just that when you look at a race of people, a group of people culturally, and you don't know them that much, you sort of get this fear in you that you don't know who they are. So you start making judgments, you start sort of fearing for your safety, because it's evolutionary, it's adaptational. If we were very open with people, we might have not survived this long. That's why we get very close and isolated, and then we become fearful of people and make judgments that aren't correct, that don't make sense.
days, they confuse people. They feed them wrong information, which is not right, you know. If the media came and, you know, gave them decent information and encouraged people to be friendly toward each other, not to hate each other, like what happened in the other state, you know, the guy went with the car went over.
Oh yeah.
You know, those things are the one people build up their hatred inside themselves and do bad things.
Because of the media.
Yeah, because of media.
And the media is controlled by the government.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump says all Muslims are terrorists.
Yeah, when you accuse people even you don't know them. How can you accuse people you don't know anything about them? You know, they are terrorists, blah blah. Yeah, there's always a few people, a few bad people in any part of the world, in any religion. If you call them that, but they're not the part of that religion, but they call themselves. They can be the most idiotic people on the earth. But you do not take that as a sample and attach it to everybody, the 1 billion people on the earth. There are about 1.2 billion people Muslims. You know, 99.99% of them, they're against these bad guys, you know. But how can you mix them? You say, oh, they're terrorists. A 2% does something bad, you call them a terrorist.
How does it affect you? How does it make you feel?
Makes you know, what happens, you know, I was talking to my neighbor, what happened, they did this terrorizing people in London, we were talking about it. You know, they kill the kids, you know, in the concert and so forth. It tears your heart, believe me. It tears you apart, you know, if you're human, it really tears you apart. It doesn't matter who they are, you know.
I think that stereotypes are sort of a very strong root of ignorance. You sort of look at a group of people, you have no clue about them, you don't know who they are, and someone paints a picture for you on how to look at them, and you make that judgment, and every time you see them, you use that judgment to look at them to sort of shape how you will act with them. And that's, I feel like, what the media is doing, and or not necessarily just the media, I think that word has been used a lot, but just in general. It's an image painted, like you basically stumble across a painting, correct? One of these paintings in the room, and say, I tell you how to look at that, I tell you what to feel, I tell you what to think, and how to depict the picture, how to analyze the picture. Well, that's not going to do me any good. I have to be able to look at the picture and think of it and say what I feel for it myself. That's what lack of ignorance is doing, and what the general misinformed media is doing. They're sort of telling you how to feel, what to think, and how to analyze or portray this picture in your mind, when instead it's completely different. It can be actually known in a very understandable and knowledgeable manner that will actually show you the true nature of the picture. It will show you the true art of the picture. And that's what stereotypes are. They're not really truth. They're more of they're more of a falsehood made by someone to seem like a truth. And they might have occurred once somewhere, like someone doing a bombing who's dressed like a Muslim, who acts like a Muslim, who says Muslim words like Allahu Akbar. But they're no Muslim. And that's just a very false stereotype. It doesn't really get anywhere, that kind of thing. And what I think is that if you basically understood people, so maybe speak to traveled people who go to different countries, you will see that their perspective shifts, because they understand that stereotypes, they're very misinformed views. They're very views that show your lack of knowledge, so to speak, for the misinformed person. And if you speak to those people who go to those countries, you say, hey man, what do you think of them? Well, they'll say, I love going to Turkey. Their Turkish delights were amazing. Or their city is beautiful. Or I love the Hagia Sophia. Or I love going to Tehran. Their people were very nice, and some of them even spoke very good broken English, So it's sort of like you have to expose yourself to it. You have to gain that knowledge, experience, and understanding of it to make a proper judgment or a proper analysis of the painting.